The opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and not necessarily those of WKTV Community Media.
Welcome to Great Lakes Music. You just heard the song. What was that song called?
Scraga Benz.
Scraga Benz.
Yeah.
Everyone say that wherever you are.
Scraga Benz, a word we made up.
Today we're featuring the great Nathan Walton, my old friend we met about an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so you might be wondering, how does a jazz trombonist / bassist go with a soul rock musician, as they call themselves, and the Nathan Walton and the Remedy? How does that go together? Well, the goal of this podcast is to feature all types of music, and that's why we're very fortunate to have my new friend here, Nathan, to talk about his backgrounds and see music is all connected, all the genres. So that is our goal with this podcast. So Nathan, welcome.
Yes, thank you for having me, Judah. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a very cool place.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy to be here.
Oh, yeah. So I don't even know if I talked about this last time, but WKTV is where we're at. It's a place here in Wyoming.
TV.
Do the Y. And
TV. I like it.
it's a nice place once you get here. I'm not gonna tell all the secrets because you have to check it out and meet all the nice people that are here. But they're doing a lot of cool stuff, and I did an interview here with my friend Kevin Brewster. You can check that out on their channel, WKTV. They highlight local music as well. They do everything, And so they have this podcast room, and that's where we're at now. We're doing podcasts through them. So we want to thank all the guys, Davin and Chris and Tom and Henry and Alex and all the guys back there helping out. Are y'all able to say anything? You say what's up? Voice of God.
That's what's up. We love your music, you guys. We love it. Makes for an awesome day, you guys.
So as you can see, everyone here is very nice and very welcoming, and it's just a great place. So yes. Anyways, that's where we're all, WKTV. And so Nathan, my brother,
My man,
we were born in the same hospital.
Butterworth. Yeah,
Butterworth.
I remember the day.
How?
I enjoyed being born there. It was a good spot to get born, which is a good record by a band called Jet. Check that out. Have you ever heard of Jet before?
I have not.
I've always wanted to do that. I'm sorry, I have to do it.
Do the spell
We're-
jet and then
We're children.
and then do the chink.
I gotta do the thing.
There we go.
That's all I wanted to do.
Was that in honor of Jet, or was that just?
That was in honor of typewriters. Typewriters and everything that's been written on a typewriter ever in the history of typewriting. Most of the things that we say, like most of the sayings, are Shakespeare's fault. He actually wrote them.
You're giving him credit.
A lot of them. Yeah, he deserves some credit, I think. A little bit, you know. I mean, he came up with a lot of great sayings. Look it up. Look up
That was with ink.
the list. Yeah, he was old school.
And then
I think.
Then we had like Hemingway.
Yeah, and
We got to give him some credit too.
Of course we do. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of great writers.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget,
Couple good
kids,
ones.
you're not the first to do it.
But first bit of wisdom.
But it is, you know, it is good to honor the things of the past. Tonight, actually, I'm doing at my residency. I have a residency show at Gray Line Brewing Company.
Yeah.
And I play there every Monday. And I bring in special guests, kind of like you're doing with this podcast. I bring in different artists from different genres. You should come, actually, one of the nights. And I let them play their original stuff, and we just kind of like special guest them, you know, and bring them to the corner stage and get them in front of different people.
That's
And
cool.
it's really fun. And
Yeah.
tonight we're doing a Beatles tribute.
Wow.
So it's me and Jack Lever, and who's an awesome artist, and he's actually in a Tom Petty tribute band too.
Cool.
And we're just doing 2 hours of Beatles music.
Wow.
You know, so I got the Beatles Bible, the book that has all the chords and stuff in it, and we're just gonna go through it. So this will be the second time we've done it.
Is this residency? So it's just you and just another guest.
Yeah,
Two people usually.
Yeah, it's two people. Yeah, it's mostly acoustic shows, you know, but we have like duos and stuff like that. But it's nice. It's really intimate, like listening room style, and the crowd's really wonderful there. They're really accepting of any kind of like genre, and that's why it's nice, because it's there to get people, you know, to get people out and get people heard and like try different stuff. So,
That's really cool.
yeah. So
That's really cool.
I've been doing that for like 2 years now almost. So
And you brought gifts here.
I did,
And
as you can see.
As people can see on my head. This is not mine. We're strapped. We're going, just like Jet, we're going for takeoff. I'm going to strap in real quick. There we go. Y'all heard that
Ground
clap.
control to Major Tom.
I do know that one.
Yes, that does click pretty good, actually. That was a good click.
So do you bring the other gifts too on your residency, like the one you brought here today?
I do bring
Bring
weird
that
stuff. Yeah, I try and bring
Same.
weird stuff, and yeah, we try and make it fun, you know. So
How long has that been going on?
I think I was one of the first musicians ever to play there. That place has been open for a while. Gray Line's been around for a while, and they're like the bomb brewery if you like beer, and they got really good food. I think they've been around since like 2014 or something.
Well, like how long
that.
have you been doing that?
But I've been playing there for 2 years. I think we started in 2021.
Oh, okay.
That summer after COVID. And originally they had like an outside tent
Yeah, I think
because
I
of
played
like
there.
the social distancing and everything.
Yeah.
So we were out there, and then we kind of moved inside for the winter, and I've been really thankful to play there. They're a cool place, so I'm happy to plug them. Look, I even got the shirt out. There you go. Boom.
So you've been there every Monday for the past 2
Every
years.
Monday. Yeah, dude.
That's
yeah, and I
awesome.
don't take a lot of days off. You know, I have taken some off, like, holidays and stuff just because they weren't even going to be open or whatever. But I enjoy it. It's really wonderful to have that consistency. And it keeps me learning new stuff all the time because you're not going to go and play the same set at a place for 2 years, you know, and nobody would want to come and see that.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, well, there he goes. He's playing Yesterday again. You know, like, oh, come on. We don't want to hear the Yesterday again. So I always try and learn at least a couple
I'd
new
wanna hear it.
songs a week, every day.
Out here from you, man. You singing.
Oh, I would love that. But yeah, I always try to learn
That's
a couple new
super cool.
songs. And that was kind of another reason to have special guests and stuff too, is to always have a flow of different creativity and different genres and, you know, keep it interesting.
Definitely.
Eclectic. I like to keep it eclectic. I would say our music's like that too. I think we're kind of we went with soul rock as like a kind of a coining thing, just because people say they're like, oh, you have a soulful voice, you know, and you sing very soulful. But I really liked rock and roll, so originally it was just a rock and roll band. That's what we kind of went as.
When was this?
Well, I put out my first solo record in 2018.
Okay.
So, and it was definitely just like alternative rock and roll record. And it was called the Nathan Walton EP. And I had like 6 songs on it. So, and that's when I started to put a band together. And then when the band started to get together, we kind of had like a rotating cast of people. And it was called Nathan Walton and the Revolving Door is actually what we called it. Because we'd have horn players from all over the place. And we've quite a list of horn players. Caleb Elzinga and
Good. That's a good guy.
Sam
Goes to my
Corey.
school. Oh, really?
Yeah, Ben Schmidt-Swartz. Jazz guys. Really
Yeah.
great saxophone players and trumpet players. And Jace Fredericks on the Barry saxophone.
Oh,
and
nice.
Great trumpet players. Austin Hunt and Austin Muthala. And,
no trombone.
trombone. Who did we have on
You
trombone?
had the trombone?
Just Tim Troutman, just a local goon.
Who?
Crazy guy. Tim Troutman.
Okay.
He's the only guy that's ever actually played trombone with us,
wow.
actually, which is kind of weird.
Gotta get some trombone in there, man.
Yeah, we need
Let
more
me know.
trombone skis. Anyway, you know. But, yeah, he was kind of like the village whack job, and he played trombone with us a couple times.
Village whack job.
Yeah. So, anyway, it got really frustrating, you know, just
Yeah.
because of the, like, people just trying to organize people that are all over the map all the time. So, and then in like 2020, after I did the American Idol thing, when I came back, I was like, all right, I'm not, and originally why I went with, like, when I first released the first record and why I put my name on it and didn't come up with a band is because I was already in a band. I was in a band for like 6 years before that, 5-6 years. And
What was that called?
the band was called Stone Throne.
Okay.
And we put an original album out. This is before Spotify and stuff. And it was on CD. I don't even think it's on Spotify. And we put it out, but then the band kind of ended badly, and I felt like I just like kept grinding to try and keep it together, and it didn't work out. So just because people and differences in life. And so after that, I was like, all right, I'm just going to name it after me, and I'm just going to try and own it, and I'm going to try and run my own business. So, and then I did American Idol, and I didn't want to juggle people anymore when I came back, and I wanted to start putting stuff out continually.
Yeah.
So we switched it to Nathan Walton and The Remedy. Because we wanted something to be positive. It was during COVID, right? So we were like, well, we need something to fix everything, you know? And music is a good thing. Music's a healer, and it's a transformer, and it's universal, galactical, whatever, you know, interdimensional. So
I love that.
so we went with that. So we went with The Remedy. It's a good vibe, you know. So and now you're part of The Remedy. Look at that. You're
yeah.
part of a good thing now. And I'm part of a good thing. This awesome podcast, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Man, that's
Yeah, dude.
all that is really cool. So I do want to talk about your experience with American Idol.
Yeah, let's
But
do it. Dig
before
deep
that-
what you got.
How did you go from Butterworth to American Idol.
Oh, well, that's a weird.
So-
That's a lot.
so-
That's a long. There's a lot of time in between
Really?
there.
Okay.
Yeah,
But how did you get into music? Pretty much.
Well,
That's the main.
I didn't really have any like musicians in my family. You know, like people would, you know, most people would think that or something, but that's not the way it worked. My grandma and grandpa would take me to Catholic church, and I would always sing the hymns and stuff. And I never wasn't really much for church, but I did like singing in the church and with the choir and just singing all the. I don't know. I just thought there was something really powerful.
So you were in the
about
choir,
it.
like the big.
Yeah, just
with the
I would just
robes
sing
and-
in church. I was just a regular, you know. I was a person
congregation,
there in
yeah.
the congregation, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just really enjoyed that part, and that's why I was like, oh, this is sweet, you know. And so I did that a lot, and then as I got older, you know, my family kind of went through a bunch of changes and is pretty divided. So music was a really nice refuge, you know, for me. I would spend a lot of time when I come home from school just like in my backyard with headphones on, jumping on a trampoline, singing Queen, you know, or anything. A lot of Queen though. I really did like Queen. And yeah, so that was like my escape, you know. Like when I was in school when I was a kid, I just always had headphones on. I'd always be fighting the authority about, oh, you can't have headphones at school. I'm like, no, I wear them 24/7, dude. Like I never had those things off.
Headphones.
The CD player.
These are my head.
This is part of my body. Yeah, you know. And I had the
Oh,
CD,
you had
the
the CD
Discman.
player. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I had the Discman, and I would, you know, make my own mix CDs of stuff that
Yeah.
burn it all onto the computer, and then make the songs in the order. This is before iPods and all that stuff. So that was like my thing, you know.
So you probably know those songs like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
Whatever they were.
Oh yeah. I'm like I get really nostalgic with songs for sure when I hear stuff. It's like, oh, I can remember the day.
And you just start learning them then on the guitar? Or?
No, not really. I just love to sing. So I would just like sing and listen to the music a lot. And I never really played instruments until I got older. I picked up guitar when I was in high school. And originally I wanted to be a drummer. So I bought a drum set. My dad bought me a drum set. I think when I was probably like 15. I think like around the same time I kind of started driving. Maybe like 14. A little before I started driving. And I was playing drums and I met a guy who played guitar. His name was Nick Asper. It was the first band I ever started. It was me and Nick. And he played guitar and he had this Les Paul Sunburst guitar and he knew like
Beautiful.
Tom Petty songs and he knew like just good rock and roll songs.
Yeah.
You know? And I'd play drums for him. And then eventually he was like, well, you sing a lot. You sing pretty good, you know? And I was like, oh, all right. Well, teach me guitar, you know? And then I got an acoustic, which I had actually had. My parents bought it for me actually when I was younger, but I never picked it up. And then I busted that thing out and started learning chords on it and stuff, you know? And then I started writing my own music. And then from there, it was just like, you know, once you get on the train, you're like, you don't get off the train if you enjoy it, you know. I mean, I guess you can if you want, but like I'm a lifer, you know. So it's like I was addicted after that, and then I just, you know, found any outlet I could to learn more and try new things and like learn different chords and learn how songs were really written, you know. Because I always liked the music, but I never understood like when he's singing and you know, when they're singing and playing, how are they doing it? You know, that was the thing, is like learning how to do it.
Deep dive.
Yeah, not really like just, it's like past the enjoyment of listening where you're actually like learning. You're like studying and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I did that a lot with songwriting, you know, which is like my thing. I like to do that, you know. I'm like an explorer. Like the helmet suggests. I like to find
That's really cool.
new territory. So yeah.
For sure.
So does that get us to American Idol? Are we even close? So that's like high school, right? So all right, and then that band died, and then or whatever. That band broke up. We were a high school band. And then right after high school, I
Jay
started
Ashbury,
Stone
was that his
Throne.
name?
What was that?
Who was it? The first guy?
Nick Asper.
Nick Asper.
Nick Asper.
There we go.
Yeah. And
You still know him? You
he
still playing
broke
with him?
my he broke my go-kart actually, and then left. Or like he never fixed it.
You had a go-kart.
We had a
though.
go-kart,
I'm kinda
yeah.
surprised.
And he was riding it. We used to do a bunch of crazy stuff because I was kind of a farm kid, you know. I lived in Byron Center.
Byron Center. Okay. Is that where you went?
And yeah, I went to Byron Center High School. Chris Ricecamp was my vocal teacher, or our choir teacher, and then I was in honors choir, men's ensemble, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Was it Byron Center that like take your tractor to school day? Or
yeah, we call it Barnyard Center, is what I call it.
Barnyard Center.
Yeah, and as I used to. Now there's a mall and everything. You know, everything's
Oh yeah, it's nice.
everything's built up now. But yeah, it was very country. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So I spent a lot of time outside, man, and having fun. And I had a lot of parties when I was younger at my house, and we'd have bonfires and lots of people over and party and do stuff that kids should do.
Yeah, should do. Keyword.
Yeah.
And so after high school, were you just like, I'm going into music full time?
Yeah, well, essentially, as soon
committed?
as I started driving, I moved out of my dad's house and I moved into a bar called The Chicken. And it's in Byron
You moved
Center.
into a bar.
I moved above a bar, yeah. So I had my guitar, right, and I was learning songs. And I went and sat in front of the bar to busk
Is it
to
still
try
around,
and make some
the bar?
money. The bar is still there, but it's completely remodeled now and rebuilt.
Yeah.
It used to be called The Chicken because there was a huge chicken in front of it, like a big plaster chicken they had made, and they had chicken dinners every Saturday night there, and it was called The Chicken. And
Don't.
yeah, so I was like chilling. Yeah, that's right, the old Jacko. Anyway, I was
I
like,
had to. Yeah,
you
Anyways.
couldn't, as a jazz bass player, you had to wear your feet in the floor. But yeah. So I was like playing outside of that bar. Like I said, I was like 16.
You're busking.
Busking. And because that's what I thought. That's how I didn't know what else to do. So I busked there. And then the owner came out while I was busking. And he said, you don't have to play out here. You can play inside. And I said, cool. I'd love to play inside. And I was like, and we started talking and stuff. And then he's like, well, let's do like a weekly thing. And then I started doing an open mic. And my open mic that I hosted paid my rent to live above the bar. They had small little rooms that were smaller than this room, which the people can't see if they're watching this video how small this room is, but it's like
it's pretty small.
10 by 10 or whatever, And then this room was
your
like,
room was like
smaller
than
5 by 10. Yeah, it was like
Did you have
thinner.
a bed in there? Or were you like
Yeah,
kind of
I had a bed. It was literally enough room for like a bed. My drum set piled at the end of my bed.
Oh, you had a
because I had a drum set.
Okay.
And then my guitars up against the other wall.
Yeah.
And one dresser. And that was it. And that was all that was in there. And that was it, dude. And that was my room.
Wow.
And I lived there
Chicken Shack.
till I lived there and did that. And then when I moved into that place, I went to a party and met all the guys for Stone Throne at a party. We were all there, and we all got together and jammed at Jesse Poltrock's house. And that's when the band started. And yeah, we played for... So when we were making money in that band, we were a rock and roll cover band. We played a lot of Led Zeppelin. I was a younger guy then. I would sing all that crazy high stuff all the time. And we were just partying, dude. We partied a lot. And we played a lot of music, a lot of rock and roll. But we were making
Just
good
in West Michigan.
Yeah. And we played a lot up north. We played a lot of biker bars. We played a lot of like regular party bars. We were on the Gilmore Group list, which is like the Bob and the Kirby House and all the like they're a little bigger, classier venues, classier bars, I guess you could say.
Is the Bob have music again?
The Bob, they used to. I don't know if they still do. I haven't.
Back?
I don't go out much anymore. As a way to keep myself healthy, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm assuming they do. Well, they're attached to 20 Monroe, right? Which isn't 20 Monroe, it's GLC Live now, right? It's owned by the casino. Everything's
I've played
changing.
there before. I've never played the Broad. Bob.
Yeah. It used to be called Barbarino's, I think, upstairs. That's where they had music, and then they built another one on the main floor too. So I think that one's called Home. We played that one too. So, but yeah, man, we did that for like 5 years, and then there was just a lot of heavy stuff that happened with that band, and you know, the band kind of moved on, and I had my son with my wife. I had Beckett, and yeah, and then the band kind of dissolved, and in 2018 I was like, all right, well, Stone Throne's done. I'm gonna keep playing music. I got a bunch of stuff I want to write.
Yeah.
And then I put out that EP, and things kind of started to pick up a little bit, and I started playing a lot more. And then in 2020, actually 2019, the end of 2019, a friend of mine told me to audition for American Idol. So I what it actually was called Festival Idol, and it was in Grand Haven. So, and it was a regular like singing contest, and but it was tied to American Idol. So there was producers there, and it was all shot and filmed. So I didn't win, actually. I didn't do very good. I didn't excel. I came in the top 10 of the thing, and
It's pretty good.
yeah, I guess. But anyway, they sent me to. I should have won it.
Yeah,
I could have.
for sure.
I feel like I could have. If maybe
You might
there
have
could have
won
been
in
a
the
few
long
things
run,
I
though.
could have done. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Either way, I in the long run I did win. Life is good. So I did that, and then the top 10, all the videos of the top 10 people got sent to LA, like the producers, the top producers of American Idol. So then they started reaching out to me and asking me to come to do more auditions.
Where was all the top 10? Did all of them?
No. It was just me and the person that won.
You won. I mean,
yeah, I won.
Long run.
Yeah, I know. It's all good. And then I met the person again on American Idol that won, and then I beat her, and then I beat her out
There you go.
as we kept going through the thing. So it was kind of funny. But anyway, you meet a lot of people. I met a lot of people doing that. So it was really cool.
In LA.
Yeah, in LA. Yeah, so my first audition was in Detroit, was like the bus audition with American Idol. Like the bus goes around the country and then you audition.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I had like press, the news team followed me and stuff, and then I went to Chicago after that and auditioned for producers. And then they have you like fill out a bunch of forms and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, was it good? After the audition, you're like, am I all right? Did I make it? And then the lady was like, yeah, you're going to go get to meet Lionel Richie.
Damn.
And I was like, sweet, oh my gosh, it's Lionel Richie all night long. So I just wanted to meet Lionel Richie, and then I auditioned in Milwaukee for the celebrity judges. And
So three, 4 auditions.
Yeah, it was still quite a thing,
And
But I
did you have
got
to,
kind of fast tracked though, because I didn't really have to stand in line and stuff,
Yeah.
So like,
Well, yeah.
because they knew I was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, they knew. They hooked me up a little bit. They got me out there, so they were really nice to me. Like a lot of people say they have like just these terrible experiences. I never heard that from other people.
The competitions were not.
Well, just that. I think people just like their feelings hurt or something, or
and
like,
they're like, that's me.
oh, I lost, or like, oh, I, got compared or whatever, And they say that it kind of wrecks their self-esteem and everything,
Yeah.
or something like that. So,
how's your life been like since you got on the show and you were able to be like use it kind of to your advantage?
yeah,
Like, did you see, like, that really helped you, right?
most definitely.
In this area, there's not really
Yeah.
many people doing that.
Well, yeah, if you think about it, not many people get that golden ticket.
Yeah.
If you think about the
So the golden ticket is just being able to compete.
it's legit. I should have brought it.
in the,
That would have been cool. You can look it up though.
yeah.
I
No,
should've
you gotta
brought it.
frame it.
I'll
We're
bring
not.
it. It's framed.
We're not able to see that.
Oh, it's framed, dude. It's hanging up in my office. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
We're not worthy.
Everyone's worthy. Everyone should be able to see it. But I won it. I earned it.
Wait, so golden
know?
ticket is...
Yeah, it's a golden ticket.
No, like, what do you do to get it?
What do you do? Oh, well, you have to get it from the judges.
Okay.
So when I auditioned for the celebrity judges, it was Luke Bryan and Katy Perry and Lionel Richie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all standing in front of you.
In Milwaukee?
In Milwaukee,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And there's this big, really cool museum that's right on the lakeshore. If you look it up, it's a really sweet-looking building.
Mm-hmm.
It's all white, and it looks like a bird or something, but it's a really sweet building. So when we were in there auditioning, I had to get there early. Everyone gets there at like 7 a.m. or whatever. And I didn't end up auditioning. I was like one of the last guys on the list to audition. So I didn't audition until like 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
It was late. Mm-hmm. And I went and did my thing. I went out there and I sang him a Chris Cornell song called Doesn't Remind Me that he recorded with Audio Slave. And I'm a big fan of Chris Cornell. I did that song and they were like, wow, that's awesome. You know, this is great. You sound great. And then they were like, well, do you have anything else that you can play us? And I said, yeah, I do. I have this original song. So and then I played them Come Back to Me, which is a song that Colin and I wrote together. Colin wrote the structure of the song, and then we collaborated on it, and I kind of made it, you know, my own to sing.
Mm-hmm.
So when he came with me to Milwaukee, and
cool.
he played the piano, and I
damn.
sang it. And then we were in, and we got 3 yeses from all of them. Yes, from every judge, you know.
So the original, I got them.
The original.
Got them to be
Got
like,
him.
wow.
Yeah. It got him, dude. We pretty much wrote it for American Idol. I mean,
Oh, yeah. Come
yeah.
back to
So
me.
look it up. It's called Come Back to Me.
Yeah.
And there's a music video of it on YouTube. We recorded at Dogtown Studios, and they're a cool place in town. So we cut a music video with them.
So you weren't nervous?
I wasn't too nervous actually at that point.
Like I would have been shaking. I would have been.
Well, it was. I was nervous. I mean, nervous in a good amount of nervousness. You know, I think everyone should be
Like
a
you
little
were
nervous
pumped.
about stuff.
You
I
were
was
prepared.
excited. I wanted to win. Yeah, I wanted to go out there and do it. You know, because in my mind, I was auditioning for a record deal, and so I guess I'm fighting with this still today. That I have kind of like the old school, like poor old school mentality, where like I need to start thinking more new school and that everything's good. But like I'm very like independent where I do everything myself and I try and own everything myself. And I wanted to go and get a record deal. Like that was my idea for American Idol. Like in my mind, that's what I was shooting for.
Not just to like be a part.
Yeah, it wasn't really about social media or, you know, looking good on TV or being part of a reality TV show. That's not my vibe, you know. I wanted to get a record deal and I want to make good records and I want to put out music that lasts, you know, and like all my heroes, you know, they all put out stuff that like is still listening to, you know, the Beatles. I mean, they have like 30 million monthly listeners to this day,
Yeah.
you know, on all the platforms. And it's like, that's good.
Yeah.
That's like a real legacy, you know, to remember. So I just wanted to get their record deal and I wanted to go on tour and the more and more I was on American Idol, the more and more I realized that's not what it was about. It's a TV show.
Yeah.
And it's about drama and comedy and reality TV.
Yeah.
And there's nothing real about reality TV. It is very edited, you know, and very very watched, very controlled. It's a very
Unorganic.
controlled thing.
That was the last guy, or our first guest. Professor Kevin Jones was talking
Kevin?
about
Yeah,
that's what we value in this country is that type of stuff. So it's
Yeah, I
interesting
don't.
that you were part. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree with Kevin. That's not
People in here don't.
That's not the vibe, bro.
We want
That's not what
the
we want.
realness.
Yeah, we
And
want
that's
real
why
stuff.
it might seem awkward conversation, but
I like
sometimes that happens.
it.
That's real.
Awkward's fine, man.
Yeah.
That's normal, man.
So, I guess the one thing I'm confused about is since I don't know much about American Idol, because you had all these competitions.
Yeah.
But then there's the show aspect part of it. So there's the music aspect. Where does the show aspect come in?
Basically the way that you're spun, when you get the golden ticket, if you make it that far, you have to sign a contract with them
Mm-hmm.
immediately before they take you and start paying for stuff and take you to LA and all of that.
You have okay.
So you have to sign this contract, and in that contract, like I had an attorney actually read over it and everything because I have my own LLC. Yeah, I own my own business, and in that contract it states that they're allowed to, portray your image any way they would like.
Mm-hmm.
So if they want to make you look happy, they make you look happy. They want to make you look sad, they'll make you look sad. They want to make you look ridiculous, they'll make you look ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people watch American Idol, because they want to see that ridiculous guy that's like a whack job, and that's like their thing, That's where they get off on the entertainment. Yeah. So and that's it. That's the reality TV show part, and they force conversations like between the artists and between the people. They like set up.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Scripted.
Yeah, it's scripted. Yeah.
And all that's in LA, and then
Yeah.
like the stuff you see on YouTube and stuff like that, the competitions, and like they come out on the stage. That's American Idol, right? And then there's the judges there.
Yeah.
That's all in LA.
Well, they tour after you make it. I think the way it kind of goes is they do like the Hollywood Week, and there's 3 rounds at the Hollywood Week. I made it to the last round of the Hollywood Week, or the second round, the duets, and yeah, and I kind of got screwed on that because I was like, oh man, I originally wanted to do "Ain't No Mountain High Enough."
Yeah.
Because I was like, I know that song.
You would have ripped that.
Yeah, I know that song, and I don't have to think about the words or anything. And then we ended up doing some other song because they suggested it, And my duo partner like knew that song better, so I tried to, help them out kind of and like do the song that they knew, and that was it, And but yeah, there's the Hollywood Week rounds, and then after that, I think they go to like Hawaii.
Seems like they should just pick a song that you like both don't know.
That's true too. Like I said, it's all reality TV,
Yeah.
They make it look however they want, I think everyone that gets on there, I think everyone that made it to Hollywood Week was super talented.
Oh yeah.
Like everyone there wants it. Everyone there wants to be a successful artist and wants to, have a career in music. So that's the goal.
Yeah.
So
then you went to Hawaii, you said?
no, I didn't go to Hawaii. I only made it to the Hollywood Week. So and then they
Gotcha.
canned me. Yeah. So I was like top 60 singers or whatever.
Dang.
Because I think the first round of Hollywood Week's like 120,
Dang.
and then they cut it like in half. They send like half the people home,
Yeah.
and then there's like the top 60, and then it's like the top 40,
Mm-hmm.
and then the top 40 I think go to Hawaii. And then after Hawaii, they go to Disney, and there's only like 20 people.
Yeah.
And then they get like the top 10, and then they, and then the
Go
rest of
back
it's
to LA
shot
or
in LA. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But,
Dang.
man, that's the
So
way it
it's
works, man. So they chop them down,
Yeah.
weeding out the talent.
Dang. I was thinking earlier when we were talking about like both genre and how like when you were saying that people oh, you have a soulful voice, like,
Yeah.
and kind of putting a label and putting it
Yeah.
like, oh, you have a soulful voice. So, like, first of all, what does that mean? Like,
What does it
there's
mean?
so much more than that to everyone's voice.
Yeah.
And so, everyone who quote unquote has a soulful voice, like, there's so much more than that label. And so, I was thinking of like labels and what that does. And then, because we live in a community too, where like with all this content, people need to have labels to understand like what it's about in a sense.
Right.
That's what they feel, and that's what's like prioritized. So like in Michigan, in Grand Rapids, I've experienced just like what's your music like how do you, and then as a band leader, like how do you sell it to the club owners and stuff
Yeah.
like that? How do you like get them interested? But it's like you just gotta like experience it first, and that's one thing I think everyone that hasn't heard your voice will be surprised by, is like hearing like how I feel like it's unique. There's so much like different things it seems like you're pulling from that you've heard.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. like it's hard to describe. You kind of just have to experience it.
Yeah, that's good.
Very unique.
That's good. Yeah, unique is good, man. I think that's just me. The uniqueness just comes from my life or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the things you go through show in your voice as a singer. You know, I think they have to. I think if you've experienced a lot of things, you'll have a much more cultured and eclectic sound. You know, if you live in a bubble, you'll sound like you live in a bubble. You know, so I think
you can't hide it.
You can't hide that. You can't hide not knowing something.
Yeah,
you know,
that's deep.
And
some maturing stuff right there.
Yeah,
that you learn.
It's true. Yeah, you just learn. You know, and then once you know something, you can't go back. You can't unknow it, unfortunately, and unless the universe says so. So, but yeah, I guess I've been kind of like trying to. I don't know, man. Basically, just trying to balance out the human aspect of it, where like some singers just have that sound. Like I guess maybe the best way to describe it is like Billie Holiday. Like if you've never listened to Billie Holiday before, the first time you hear Billie Holiday, the next time you hear Billie Holiday, you're gonna know that it's Billie Holiday because she had a voice that was specific to her. And it's something that, I mean, it doesn't sound trained. It doesn't sound trained. You know, it doesn't sound like she practiced day and day on that tone. That tone came from being her and her life that she went through. So what
Very real.
Yeah. So, and she has this interview too where she's like talking about the blues at one of the beginnings of her songs. You should listen to it. And at the beginning of the song, I forget what song it is. My man don't love me. Fine and mellow. So fine and mellow. In the beginning of it, she's like talking about the blues and she's talking about why she sings and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's this funny part where she's like, some days there's happy blues and there's sad blues.
Yeah.
And her voice is so cool. It's so interesting. She's so real.
It kind of reminds me of like Robert. You know Robert Glassford?
No.
He's a pianist. He's like credited for like the neo soul jazz stuff, but he does like really like he's a pianist.
I mean, I'm sure I've heard his work.
Yeah, and he's like, I'd rather be the worst version of me than like the best version of someone else.
The copy machine.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure. I get that. Yeah. So, you know, Billie Holiday maybe didn't have any vocal training, but she still was the perfect person for that role. So what I've been working on lately is like putting the practice in and not just singing with power. Because I think people sing with power a lot. I think we're like Chris Stapleton. I think he sings with power. He sings with forcing that song out, which is cool.
Yeah.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
People love it, and people call it soulful.
Yeah.
You know, but someday, you know, he'll want to maybe sing with a little more, you know, a more well-rounded sound, you know? So, and that's a whole nother thing to be trained. So that's what I've been working on singing lately, is like just working on.
Do you find it hard to apply that practice right away?
Yeah, I think so. Unless you really want it, you know, and I think that's what I have plenty of drive. I've always had plenty of drive. So I was always the dude that drove the band van, and I'm always the dude that gets everyone together and tries to do fun stuff and make us do stuff.
Yeah.
Get us out of our box and explore.
Action.
And do some action and get out of town and go do something. Make a new record, you know, don't sit around. The time is now. So people...
I love that philosophy, you could call it.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, it's not like you like create or curated that, it's just who you are.
Yeah.
That's what I love. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably just comes from my childhood. You know, it comes from me being an independent kid and the way my parents raised me, and just stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's just the way
I
it
feel
is,
that.
you know. So people say if they had one more day, they'd have it their way, but you just got to do it now. You got to just do it now because tomorrow's not, you know, a guarantee, you know. So
Yeah.
and there's nobody walking around going, "Well, are you ready to get it done?"
Yeah, no.
No, no. You got to have that in yourself. You got to ask yourself that
That's true.
every day. So
Is there kind of looking future focus now, like as far as the Grand Rapids and like your place in there? Like, so you didn't go on tour because you didn't win, right? I
didn't go on tour with the show.
with
But I was
the
on
show.
tour when the country shut down. I was on my own tour.
Yeah.
So when I got done with American Idol, it was like it was that winter is when he's shooting
And
because everything's shot before you see it, right? On American Idol, none of it's live until later in the show when they start doing the live shows. So I was on tour actually in Alabama in March of 2020 when the country shut down because I was already like I had the clout of doing American Idol.
Yeah.
So I was like booking
You were
shows
booking.
and I was going out there and doing it. And then the country shut down. So it was like a really high, really low to like no shows and nothing and no music and no people and no
The poopy
gigs
time.
and the bad times. I remember the before times, man. They were cool.
Yeah.
Back when the restaurants were open till 2 a.m. After a gig, you could go get a beer and a pizza and kick it with the band. Now you can't do that because everything's closed at 10, 11 o'clock. So it's weird. But yeah. So, and then after that, it was like, well, what do I do? So then I started making an album. I went out and I got the band together and we formed The Remedy as to what it is now. And cut the first record, Nathan Walton and The Remedy.
You have an experience of like of a before and after when you like try to play at a place and they were just kind of like, like we don't know who you are. But then when you said like I was on American Idol, they were like,
I see it in
It's
people's
funny.
faces.
oh, okay.
Yeah. I could, like, if I talk to somebody,
Yeah.
you know, and then they're like, oh, yeah, man, that's a deep question, actually, because that's
But
like,
like a place, like
even-
the restaurants and stuff.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100% better. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is like
It's just like I look at it as like a degree.
because you earned it. Yeah.
I look at it as like a music
It's an
degree.
achievement.
It's a feather in the cap, notch on your belt. It's a music degree. It hangs on the wall. People see it, and that can't be taken away from me. You know, no matter what happens. It's like anything else. So, and it does help when people see it. It has helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has for sure.
That's good.
So, yeah, it should. Jeez, I hope so. I went through enough to get it.
Exactly.
You know? And
That's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, it was a life's, a childhood worth of memories and interactions and experiences that got me there, you know? So it wasn't just like I walked in out of luck,
yeah.
you know?
No.
I was trying
They heard you.
Yeah, they heard me, yeah.
They heard the
I
mess
was
up.
working for it, so I still am now. So, but it's nice to have that next level, you know, move to the next level, hopefully.
Do you have
Keep
a
grinding.
project you're working on?
Yeah, we put out Daybreak and Night Drive in 2022, and those are doing good. We won the Jammies for Listener Choice, Album of the Year, and Artist of the Year. And I'm working on
Where were the jammies hosted? Sorry.
at the intersection.
Okay. at the
Yeah,
intersection.
right in GR. I love GR, man. It's getting
growing.
bigger and better. They're putting in that new amphitheater soon, right on the lake or on the river, and I don't know. I think it's really becoming a music city. You know, I really hope it does become like Nashville
Yeah.
because I like it. I like people. I want people to come up here, and I want this place to just grow and have a huge music scene.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
but yeah, I'm working on. Zach and Doug and I are gonna go. I have these songs. Zach Dubé and Doug Watkins is a bass player.
Okay.
Zach Dubé plays drums, and I have a bunch of songs that are kind of like personal, darker, hard rock songs.
Yeah.
And they didn't really fit The Remedy because The Remedy's a little lighter, you know, and we play more like funky stuff and all kinds of other weird stuff. And anyway, it was just more personal. The songs are a little more personal and a little more gritty. So I'm working on that with them as like a 3-piece, and we're gonna go in and record that hopefully sometime this summer.
Awesome.
And the Remedy's got a few new songs that we're working on, and we're gonna get those, maybe get in the studio this fall and put something out.
Cool.
The Remedy just recorded 3 new songs at Local Legend, so those will come out this summer.
Awesome.
So, and then we'll be back in. But we've spent a lot of time in the studio and putting stuff out, and my goal kind of is to put out a record like a year, at least one record a year, for 10 years.
Yeah.
And just keep going. And so yeah, there's plenty of music coming down the pipe for sure.
Well, everyone listening, go support Nathan Walton. All the cool stuff he's doing, and there's a lot more that you can check out on his website in terms of all that, and his business and his bands and his projects, like Elevator a Go-Go, is that what it's called? Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I just read a little bit about it.
Yeah, that's a whole new thing. You can check them out too.
Yeah, check them out. Support. That's the whole idea. Support and just discover. Like we were saying, you won't know until you know. So
that's right. But anyway.
This was Great Lakes Music, Episode 2, featuring Nathan Walton. Yes, Nathan Walton, soul rocker from Grand Rapids, Michigan. American Idol, Golden Ticket winner, multi-talented musician. He plays guitar, synthesizer, and a host of other instruments. Check his stuff out. And we are out in 3, 2, 1. Out of here!
Woo!
The opinions expressed in the preceding program are those of the producer and not necessarily those of WKTV Community Media.